Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Dark Oath project that we're doing. This is going to be a fairly short episode, just kind of going through some of the background lore for the project. So it's called Zennigan's Wreck. That'll be apparent in a minute why. First of all, let's quickly go over how the actual campaign's going to work. So the idea of it is it's based in the local GW store. As far as I'm aware, it's going on in other stores as well. It's points based. The idea is you build and paint stuff, you play games. Once you get 18 points, you get something called a coin malleus. When you got the more coin malleus's a side has, that side wins. So if everyone's playing to destroy, there's going to be more destruction coins than to save the city. There's a number of ways you can get the points. So by playing games, most of them are worth 1 point, unless you complete a Path to Glory quest, which is worth 2 points. There's multiples on here because it's kind of like a bingo card. You knock them off like one by one, and then you restart. The building and painting side of it, which is where I'll mainly be focusing, works in the same way. It's a bingo card, except for a Vanguard box set or a Spearhead, like our Dark Oath box set, you get 6 points, and then for each individual unit, depending on what it is, you get 1 point as well. And again, you go round and do it like a bingo card, and the idea is you're looking to get 18 points on there. So that's kind of like the scenario, and this is what we're playing for in our case, to destroy. So the place is called Zennigan's Wreck. Most of this is community driven in the way of the kind of like the local stores community, which is all on the Facebook and stuff like that. I'm not going to share much of it for the simple fact that this is not anything that I've made. This is made by other people. I don't want to kind of like take credit for that or be, step on anyone's toes. So I'm just going to kind of give you the general outline. So the city that we're planning on destroying is called Zennigan's Wreck. It's a city of Sigmar in the realm of Gairan, which is the realm of life. It's a bayou of the Sanctum Isles, south of Yeska in the Tendril Sea. I did some research, looked at my locations. Basically, a bayou is a swamp. You can kind of get an idea of what it might look like from the little image I've put up in the side there. That is AI generated image by myself. Basically just putting some key terms in and stuff like that. So this place is full of hostile fauna and flora, such as like razor sharp bracken, ironbark trees, and bioluminescent creatures such as the gator bear, which is like an alligator / bear mixed together. It's a city that's basically on stilts, and it's made out of the wreck of Zennigan's ship, the Crimson Blade. So different parts of this ship have been used to make different quadrants of the city. It's got a mix of races in there, and it's known to be kind of like bright and vibrant and having these carnivals and festivals celebrating various different deities and different events and stuff like that. But there's also a little bit of a dark side to it. The way it reads in my head as I was reading through it all, it's kind of like a smuggler / pirate cove haven that sat in the middle of this kind of like swamp, where people go and come and kind of like celebrate and maybe do a bit of dodgy dealing, and some trading and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. Pretty proud of the AI artwork as well. That went pretty well. Thought I'd quickly talk about the actual founder the Scourge Privateer Zennigan. Now, Zennigan is, there's a lot of positive words, but it basically boils down to being egotistical. He's known as being brave and daring, and not many of the Dread Pirates actually like him. He led many fleets to claim new lands, you know, on various different crusades and stuff like that. However, he insisted on naming most of them, if not all, after himself, sometimes at gunpoint and swordpoint. But yeah, he liked his legacy to be continued. And he disappeared on a voyage into the Tendril Sea, and nobody cared. He was annoying, and people were like, yes, see you later, goodbye. So that's Zennigan, the founder of Zennigan's Wreck. Yeah, the other artwork as well, just to cover myself. It's Warhammer community stuff, and stuff like that. So that kind of brings us on how to fit it all in with our army project and what we're doing. So I'm going to recycle some old material. Now, a long time ago, when I was making my Beastmen and Cities of Sigmar armies, I made my own little place called the Stonegrass Mountains. It's a floating isle encircled by mountains with only a couple of ways in, and inside is kind of like your steppes, foresty kind of like plains. Basically, it looks like Northumberland. Excuse me, because that's where I got the idea from in the first place for those armies, like a rainforest, but then some areas which were nice, kind of like rolling plains and that. As you can see, it's all based on kind of armies that I had at the time or were collecting, such as Soulblight, Cities of Sigmar, Slaves to Darkness, and Beastmen, to kind of like bring it into the modern day, because obviously Beastmen are moving over to Old World, New Law wise. It's come crashing down into the sea. The constant fighting over it has kind of like displaced the magics around it, and it came flying down, crashing into the sea. Most of the inhabitants died and disappeared. There may have been some beastie unleashed from one of the mountains, which kind of caused this fall. The dominant faction that remains were essentially the many tribes and clans that called this place home. They managed to kind of like, because it's quite tough and hardy, take over the rest of the island, and then a Chaos Lord came across this place, saw these guys pretty handy in a fight, and hired them for his ambitions of kind of like gaining favour with the dark gods. Prior to this, you know, the place was relatively unknown, but there was raiders that came from this isle on your various different coasts of Scar and Zennigan's Wreck and stuff like that. And then this lord basically hired them because he wants glory for himself. Excuse me. He's trying to kind of build himself up, essentially. He wants to be noticed, and he's using these tribes to do it. Which kind of brings us into his final project goal. The idea behind this is going to be like a trident of chaos. So there's going to be 3 Slaves to Darkness elements coming together as one. You have got the Dark Oath tribes. So the clans and the tribes, various different clans. The main one, the biggest one, being the Swift Spear tribe, which is the one that we're working on at the minute. They're kind of like the big bads. Everyone pledges fealty to them. Then you've got the Sorcerer, who it's that element's going to be full of your magical clans, your monsters and stuff like that. And then finally the General. This is our Lord. He's the one that is in charge of the Armoured Corps, the Chaos Warriors, the Chaos Knights, you know, your traditional men with swords and boards and halberds and that kind of thing. He's leading this kind of trident into the depths to take out Zennigan's Wreck and then beyond. And that gives us kind of like a good scope to essentially take one army, because there's quite a variety in the Slaves of Darkness range, and actually make 3 armies out of it, and we can take and borrow from different elements. So yeah, that's kind of like the project that we're working on. This is like a bit of filler content, because although I've been very, very busy getting everything done, there's not much built and painted. So I want to do it all in one go, if you get, and we'll do that at some point soon. So yeah, as ever, thanks for watching, and until next time.